What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and in this video, I'm gonna show you everything that you need to know before purchasing your first home. This is gonna help guarantee that you get the best deal possible and make sure that you don't get taken advantage of in the process. So with that being said, let's jump into it. All right, guys, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Chandler Smith, and I've been investing in real estate for the last 6+ years. Now, I'm only 29 years old. However, I've gotten to go through the entire process of purchasing dozens of properties from start to finish, and I've learned a lot of things throughout that process. I've gotten taken advantage of, I've made bigger mistakes, and because of that, I wanted to create this video to help you to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of, that you get the best deal possible, and that you know everything that's involved in the process of purchasing a home for the first time. Because the reality is, it is so exciting and fun to get into your first home, and I wanna make sure that everything goes off without a hitch. So with that being said, I'm just gonna jump right into the list of things that you need to know to make sure that you set yourself up perfectly for your first home. So the first step is you've got to figure out what your budget is, and you've got to hold to it. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is they decide that they want to buy a home, and they think they kind of know their budget, and then they start looking at homes. And it's crazy because once you get inside homes, your budget just starts to grow because you're like, man, it's for me, it's for my family, we're gonna live here for a long time, we're gonna love it, we're gonna raise our kids here. And you just get carried away and you start making a decision that's very emotional rather than analytical. And anytime you get into that emotional part of your brain and it involves money, it usually causes issues. So if you Google it, it says you shouldn't spend more than 28% of your pre-tax income on your mortgage. Now, I would tell you to go even lower than that. As a matter of fact, I'd tell you to hang around 10 to 15%. However, this is up to you. The only thing I will tell you is once you decide what you can handle, once you decide what your budget can handle, then hold to those numbers and then do the research to know exactly where your mortgage and all of your other expenses that are involved with this new home are going to come in at, because you do not want to end up overspending and end up in a terrible situation, because the worst thing possible is going to buy your first home and putting yourself into financial ruin because you overspent. So rule number one, make sure that you don't overspend and that you know exactly what your budget is before you ever start looking at homes. Step number two, go and find a great realtor or educate yourself on doing a for sale by owner. Now, the reason that I push this is there are some great realtors and there are some terrible realtors. You wanna find one that's experienced, that's helped lots of people, and that you feel really cares about you and understands your market so that they can help you to get the best deal possible. Now, if you're not gonna use a realtor, you need to put in the time educating yourself. One of the reasons people will go for sale by owner is because they know they're gonna be able to save 6%, that the seller should have that extra flexibility to lower the price. Here's the only problem. If you don't know the market and you spend 10% more than you should, you still would have been better off using a realtor. So a realtor can be a real advantage if they're a good realtor and they know what they're doing. On the alternative, if the realtor is just trying to turn a buck and they're not invested in you, then it might be better to go and do a for sale by owner, or just make sure you find a good realtor. If you go the for sale by owner route, just make sure you understand your market and you don't get taken advantage of. And I've got lots of videos out there that show you how to gain a better understanding of your market, how to negotiate, and you can check out those videos if you want to go that route. But please don't get into a situation where you're thinking you're winning, but really you're losing because you're uneducated and you're not working with someone that is educated on your market. Step number three is a huge step. It probably deserves like 3 steps in and of itself. However, it's just got one step in this video, and that is get pre-approved for a loan. Now, this involves a lot of different things. First off, you need to make sure that you can get approved for a loan. And if you're worried about that because of your credit or your financial history or whatever else you've got going on, I've got this video that you can click on the link, and it's gonna be able to show you everything that you need to know to be able to get your credit score up and get approved for a great home loan. Now, if you're already set, you've got a good credit score, you know that you've got everything in place to be able to get approved for a home loan, the next thing is picking the right loan for your situation, because there are tons of loans out there, because you can have higher or lower down payments, you can have changing interest rates, you can have a 30-year or a 15-year fixed mortgage, there's FHA, there's a VA, there's a USDA, there's conventional, there's unconventional, there are all kinds of different loans. And so go and watch this video if you don't know what loan package is right for you, and it's gonna explain everything so that you can pick the perfect loan for your situation. Once you've gone through and you know how to get pre-approved, you know which loan is right, you can speak with your loan officer and get a pre-approval letter. Now, if all that stuff I just mentioned sounds overwhelming or a little too complicated for you, don't stress out. It's not, I swear. It's actually a pretty simple process. So just make sure you go and watch those videos and gain an understanding of it. Literally within the course of 30 minutes, you can understand everything that you need to know to be able to go in and talk to a loan officer and know exactly what you want, what you need, and what you should do to get pre-approved for a loan. Once you can go and get pre-approved, you wanna make sure that you get that pre-approval letter from your loan officer, so when you find the perfect home, you've got it ready to send in with your offer so that people know you're serious. So make sure before you do anything else that you go and you get pre-approved for the loan. Now, step number 4 is you've gotta understand your expenses, because now you're gonna know what your mortgage is, you're gonna know if you have any mortgage insurance like PMI or MIP, and those are explained in those videos I mentioned earlier. You're gonna be able to look at a home and see if they've got an HOA fee, see what extra utilities they have, see what extra expenses are going to be involved with the home. You just wanna really dig in and see all of the expenses that are tied to your mortgage, to closing costs, and then to the monthly expenses of the home, so that you're not getting hit with any surprises. All right, now that you've got all of your expenses figured out, we're gonna go into step number 5. Now, this is the step where you set aside all of the money you need for a down payment. Now, a down payment could be as low as 3.5% of the purchase price, or as high as purchasing the entire place in cash. Now, I don't suggest that. However, you've got this range. Whatever you need as your down payment, which you should have figured out when you got pre-approved for your loan, make sure you have that money set aside. Make sure you're also prepared to make your monthly payments with whatever income you've got coming in. And I know we covered that, but you wanna make sure that you're set on that. And then finally, the most important part, make sure that you at least have 6 months worth of reserves. I know a lot of people will say do 3 months, a lot of people will say do a year. I personally don't think you should ever go low than 6 months. If you can get a year worth of reserves, great. But you wanna be in a place where if you're taking on this mortgage and you know you're gonna be paying it for as long as you're living in the home, you've got to make sure that if crap hits the fan and you lose your job, you've got something to fall back on for 6 months to get back on your feet. So make sure you've got those reserves in place before you purchase the home. All right, now it's time for the fun part, and that is when you go shopping. Now, what I suggest is you find the area that you wanna buy in, and don't put yourself in a place where you've gotta buy in a week, all right? I personally think you should shop for 3 to 6 months worth before you pull the trigger, because the first home you go in, I promise you're gonna fall in love with it, but you've gotta go look at other homes. You've gotta see what's gonna work good with your family. You've gotta see pros and cons to different places. And then once you figure out the market, you've gotta wait until the perfect home at the perfect price comes across your table. Now, I know you're gonna wanna fall in love, but don't. I would even set a restriction that says, hey, we're gonna at least look at 5 homes or 10 homes before we do anything. Because that way you know that you've looked at all of those pros and cons and you can make a good analytical decision. Now, that segues perfect into our next step, which is don't fall in lust, fall in love. Now, I know there are a lot of you out there saying, Chandler, What in the heck are you talking about? You sound like a crazy person. We're talking about a home here. There are so many people that start shopping and they're looking in the price range of $400,000 and they see this house for $500,000 and they say, oh, I am in love. It's perfect for us. It's perfect for our family. It's totally worth going outside of our budget and taking a little bit of a risk because we love it. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, that is not love, that is lust. And the way that you can tell the difference is lust is going to end in bankruptcy, all right? Love is going to end up in a perfect home that has everything that you need, but that you can also afford. So please don't fall in lust, fall in love. You set the budget at the beginning so that you wouldn't screw yourself over. So please hold to your budget. It's gonna be the home that's perfect for your family because your family isn't going to end up in bankruptcy.
I declare bankruptcy!
The next step, once you find it, don't just give in. Now, every area is different. There are some areas where there are gonna be 10 offers on any property, and you've gotta weigh out your options there and make sure that you play your cards properly if you find the home that you were in love with. I'm totally cool with you maxing out the budget that you set for yourself if you're having to outbid someone else because you've done your research and you found the perfect home and you're not going over your budget. However, if you are in an area where it's not super competitive, there aren't a lot of offers, don't be afraid of putting in a lower offer and doing a back and forth counter so that you can get the best possible price on the home that you find. Because there are so many people that they fall in love and they just say, I'll take it for whatever it costs. And then they overpay and put themselves in an equity position that isn't great. So if they have it overlisted for a price that's too much, it's okay to put in a lower offer and play the game for a week. All right, you're supposed to be shopping for a while anyways, so be patient and be willing to put in an offer that's going to save you money and put you in a good place. This is another thing you can do to stay within your budget, where if something's outside of your budget, just put in a low offer and hold to it and don't bend and see what happens, because sometimes you can get a property that you thought was outside of your budget by putting in a lowball offer. Just don't come up above your budget. Please stay within the bounds that you set for yourself. All right, this last step is my favorite, and it is the just do it step. And the reason that I put this step here is I've seen a lot of people that they go through the whole process, they do the research, they do everything right, and then they just can't get the gumption to jump. And I'm telling you right now, if you do everything right, you deserve a home. You're gonna be able to build equity in a home. You're gonna get principal pay down in a home. You're gonna get appreciation, and you're gonna have a place where you can raise your family, a place that you can take pride in and take care of, and really just learn to love spending time in. And so make sure that once you've done the research, once you've set aside the money, once you're ready to jump, don't wait any longer.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
It's okay to make the jump. It's okay to treat yourself because you worked hard for it. Not only in your job and in getting the money, but in doing the research to make sure that you could afford it. So once the deal comes, have the courage to jump. Now, if you guys enjoyed the video, please push the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell, because the goal of my videos is to help you make smart financial decisions and get ahead. So not only do I want to help you get into a home, but if you check out my other videos, I really believe I can help you get into multiple homes, buy a lot of real estate, and create a huge passive income for yourself. So with all of that being said, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks guys, have a great day.